Hey everyone, so after playing Modern Warfare 2, I really do appreciate how Infinity Ward is looking out for us by telling us to be kind to one another.
Damn.
Oh, by 1 point.
Shut the fuck up, bitch.
Shut bitch ass.
These past Call of Duty games have made me feel a roller coaster of emotions.
I mean, it's alright, like...
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
But does Modern Warfare 2 bring back that old spark? Is it the game we've all been waiting for? Is there a point to life? Well, let's find out. Alright, let's start with something positive. The campaign. This is one of the best Call of Duty campaigns of all time. Yeah, I said it! One of the very first things I do when I get a new Call of Duty is play the single player, and since it was early access, I had no choice. This campaign had so many callbacks that it had me going,
They call me Soap. Y un verga se llama Jabón.
What the hell kind of name is Soap, eh? On your feet, soldier! We are leaving!
I find it funny how Sledgehammer's biggest flex was they hired a movie director for their cutscenes, but I'd argue the cutscenes in Modern Warfare 2 are leagues better. This shit looks like a straight up movie, and even the visuals when you're just playing the actual game is incredible. The face capture and the subtle details characters make just enhances the immersion. I mean, these feel like real people. Well, they are, but all the actors did an amazing job, and I really did like all the characters. I'm going to give you the cliff notes of what the story is about, in case you haven't played the campaign yet or are just on the fence about it, because I don't want to spoil it. The game begins with you sending the wrath of God on someone named Gorbani. Several months later, someone takes his place to avenge his death called Hassan. Hassan has 3 missiles, and he's getting help from the cartel. Your job is to find those missiles and stop them from launching. That's basically a summarized version of the single player. It seems pretty simple, but characters and the relationship between all of them is what elevates the story to me, not to mention the missions themselves. Let's talk about the new characters in Modern Warfare 2. We got the man himself, Ghost, and this guy carried the campaign, easily one of the best characters here in my opinion. This version of Ghost is way better than the one from the original Modern Warfare 2. Yeah, I said it, and I'm not apologizing! I replayed the original Modern Warfare 2 not too long ago, and I think we're just blinded by nostalgia because he didn't really add much to the story aside from looking cool. I've heard people say he was a lot better in the comics, but who the fuck is reading Call of Duty comics? I didn't even know Call of Duty had comics. In this version, he actually has a personality, and he can be funny sometimes too.
Last one says they call you Ghost.
Actually, I believe he prefers to
That'll do.
Here, he's a lone wolf, and in the beginning, he doesn't really like working with others, but that changes as the game progresses. He's a leader in this game and can hold his own. Soap also makes a return, and I'd say it's the opposite. Soap isn't so much of a leader here. In the original, he led a team, and he commanded you to do shit. Here, he's younger, and I guess more immature.
Let's get ourselves a win, yeah, old team. Save your seat, sir. Fucking hell.
He's also who you play as for a majority of the game. Honestly, the best part to me was the relationship between Ghost and Soap.
Why Bill your head?
English McTavish.
Sorry, sir. Let me translate. Go fuck yourself.
Much better.
In the older titles, Price and Soap had a close bond, but here, it's Ghost and Soap who are the dream team now, since most of the time you're playing alongside him, and by the end of the game, Soap pretty much sees Ghost as a brother. Alejandro is one of my favorite characters, and for some reason, he looks the most realistic. His facial expressions had me thinking I was watching a movie. He's in the Mexican Special Forces, and another great addition to the game. He never leaves anyone behind and always has such a presence when he's on screen. Call of Duty is getting better at creating original characters. I thought Farah was a great addition, and now Alejandro, and Valeria. Then Graves, who's one of my favorites. The dude is such a hype man.
Hook, line, and fucking sinker, that's what I'm talking about, Shadows! You know I love that shit!
Especially towards the end of the game when certain things happen. General Shepard is back, but I guess it's a more realistic take. The original was cooler in my opinion since he would join you on the front lines. And I swear, this version's voice when I first heard him sounded so familiar, but then I figured it out.
Gold Eagle actual to Ghost. Move your team and call for fire.
Overlord copies all. Good luck. Out. Be advised, Hunter 2-1, you have an enemy patrol by that bank to the north. Over.
Then there's this guy called Rodolfo, and yeah, he's cool, but he's kind of just there, like me. You play as him for one mission, and that's it. You'd think for being Alejandro's second in command, he'd have more influence, but not really. Of course, characters return from Modern Warfare 2019, Captain Price, Gaz, Lawel, and Farah. Price and Gaz have almost a father and son relationship, once again reversing the role of how it used to be with Price and Soap. You play as Gaz for most of the game, just like Soap. Farah only shows up for one mission, but it's great, which I'll get into soon. Let's talk about the missions in the Modern Warfare 2 campaign, because this is a big factor as to why the campaign is as good as it is. The gameplay variety. They could have easily made every mission just go from point A to point B and just shoot people along the way. But every mission stands out and adds some flair instead of just running around shooting everything. I'll name a few just so you can see what I'm talking about. In the mission, violence and timing. So much is going on that it was keeping me on the edge of my seat. You start out on the helicopter shooting enemies. Then you get shot and start hanging from a rope. And you have to shoot people upside down while dodging cars. Then you hijack vehicles doing drive-bys while occasionally dodging mines that this asshole keeps throwing, while also avoiding oncoming traffic. Another mission was a throwback to All Gullied Up called Recon by Fire. You're with Captain Price, sneaking past enemies, lining up your shots, and trying to kill 2 enemies with 1 bullet. Not only that, but you're clearing buildings and you can do so by using different methods. I threw tear gas in the vents to get the enemies outside. It felt pretty nostalgic while also not trying to copy All Gullied Up to a T. Then we have the mission Alone.
I can't fucking compete!
I think this is the most standout mission in Modern Warfare 2, but damn, it's hard! Like how I get when I see there's enemies everywhere and they kill you almost instantly. And I was playing on regular! I do plan to replay the campaign on Veteran, and this mission has me worried, but once you've died as much as I have, it's not too bad. The reason this mission is the most unique is because certain events transpire, and you're wounded with no weapons, leaving you pretty vulnerable. So you have to sneak around enemies and actually craft items that can help you progress the level. You can even craft weapons as the level goes on. You feel like you're upgrading because soon you'll get a knife, then after the knife it's a shotgun, and so on. And my favorite part of the mission is the interactions between Soap and Ghost. Ghost is helping you out on the radio throughout the entire mission. You joke around with each other, and I was genuinely laughing throughout the mission.
I'm in the coffee shop.
Get us a tea.
Fucking Brits.
I was even able to laugh off the pain after dying! This is a good time to bring up how sometimes you're given dialogue options. What you say doesn't really affect the ending of the game. There's only one ending. It's nothing special, but it's neat because in the slower missions, it gives you something to do when you're just trying to be sneaky and walking around pretty slow. There's the occasional defended area while waves of enemies surround you, but it's not really that common. Alright, I've stroked and swallowed enough of the campaign's load. Time to spit it out and talk some negatives. The ending was way too abrupt. You blink once and you miss it. It's like they said fuck it and called it a day. It was a lot of build-up but with no payoff. Probably one of the more lackluster endings. There is an after credit scene though, and this shit was hype as fuck. Had me smiling ear to ear. Also, there were too many armored enemies. It felt like they were just added to pad more time for the campaign, but it started to get obnoxious and I was rolling my eyes towards the end of the game. There is also no collectibles, like at all. But for Call of Duty standards, this is one of the better campaigns. If you haven't played it yet, give it a try. I'll be playing it again for sure. So, let's get into the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer. And I do have some negative things to say about it, but first, I'll say the good about Modern Warfare 2. The attention to detail in this game is amazing. From the inspections to weapons to even the way the C4 sinks to the bottom of the water. I mean, look at that.
He puts it up to his face, turns it around, ejects the shell, and you can see another shell in there when he puts the shell back in, right? But watch this. So I've only got one in there at the moment. I'm going to inspect it again. You guys are going to love this. Ejects the shell. And look, there's no more in there because it was the only one that was loaded.
Modern Warfare 2 could probably let you inspect every hair follicle on your left ass cheek if it wanted to. The guns sound beefy and the reload animations are slick. These are probably the best looking guns I've seen in a video game, and definitely more detailed than Battlefield 2042. There's also a new feature where you can hang off ledges and shoot people with a pistol if you got one equipped in your class. It could come in handy if you're parachuting and use it to climb a building if you're about to miss. And dolphin diving is back along with sliding. The movement is smooth and feels nice to play. But before we can start playing, you gotta create a class, and the gunsmith is back. Unlike my dad. What's great here though is there isn't like 70 levels for a gun, and the grind doesn't make you forget what grass looks like. An attachment you unlocked from a previous assault rifle, for example, can be used for another one you unlock later if applicable, giving you another chance to touch grass. There's also these receivers you unlock for a gun that could turn it into another gun, and for a lot of the weapons, unlocking these receivers is really the only way to get certain weapons, which means it forces you to try new classes and weapons. Let's say you want the M16. Well, the only way to unlock it is if you use the M4. Level it up until you unlock the receiver for the Icarus. Then level up the Icarus until you unlock the M16 receiver. I do like how it's pretty easy to unlock camos. I already have 2 gold. Though the gunsmith has issues, which I will get to later. The maps in Modern Warfare 2 are leagues better than what they gave us in Modern Warfare 2019. I still have nightmares about Piccadilly. And the colors are vibrant as opposed to the dark and gray colors Infinity Ward is known for. I liked all of them, and when the game ended, it was because the max score was reached, not because the time was up. They managed to combine the complexity of Modern Warfare 2019 maps with the simplicity of older Call of Duty titles, giving the maps a good balance. I also didn't have to travel a million miles to get into the action. I had no problems flanking or finding people to shoot, which is what you want in a fucking first-person shooter. However, there's one map I'm a little on the fence about, and that's Senna Border Crossing. It's basically a one-lane map, and while I do give props for trying something different, you die more from the fucking cars than you do the actual players.
Secure the area. Locating the next hard point. Get ready. Enemies inside the perimeter.
UAV is bingo fuel. RTB at this time.
Our UAV is orbiting the area. Target area, enemy UAV active.
Still though, even if this is the worst map in Modern Warfare 2, it's still better than like 99% of what Modern Warfare 2019 had to offer. You couldn't even cross a fucking street. There wasn't a map I loved or hated, they were all just alright. On a side note about the Modern Warfare 2 beta, I will give credit. Pretty much every day, Infinity Ward was updating the playlist, keeping the game fresh. The Modern Warfare 2 beta was getting more support than Halo Infinite. Isn't that sad? I mean, there's the standard modes, TDM, Domination, Search and Destroy. Yeah, we've all seen those already. Ground War. The maps are pretty good. Swimming is also fun. You can sneak around and get the jump on people and even dive underwater. Swimming with a bunch of people and sneaking onto land felt like a movie at times. There are even these helicopters your team can spawn in, and so many people can just be crammed in there. You can either jump out or stay inside and shoot people from above. Modern Warfare 2's Ground War is more like Battlefield than Battlefield is right now. Remember in Modern Warfare 2019, people would just camp on that cliffside with the tanks like pussies? Yeah, that doesn't happen anymore. Driving the vehicles is fun too, especially the tank. I would just end bloodlines with them. The maps feel like they were designed for Ground War instead of it just being a piece of the Warzone map and calling it a day. Most of my fun actually came from Ground War. Invasion is similar to Ground War, but instead of capturing locations to win, it's all based on kills. There's also bots alongside the real players, and the AI is actually pretty good. It kind of reminds me of Titanfall 2 with all the bots. Invasion felt more laid back than Ground War since I didn't really have to worry about real players. It could kind of just mess around. Another new mode is Prisoner Rescue, and it's pretty cool. One team is defending their hostages while the other is trying to save them. There's two, and if you either kill the enemy team or rescue both prisoners, you win. It's a slow-paced mode, and you need to work as a team since you have limited revives. You can't just go in there alone. There's also the third-person mode, and the original Modern Warfare 2 from 2009 had this too. And I wasn't a fan of it during the beta, and here's why. Mainly because when you aim down your sights, it switches to first person, which means people play the game constantly aiming down sights, destroying the purpose of a third person. Maybe if they fixed it, I would enjoy it. But it's a neat concept. I really do wish they would bring back the night vision mode they had in Modern Warfare 2019. That was an underrated gem in my opinion. But now they fixed it, so when you do aim down your sights, it stays in third person. And because of that small change, third person mode is one of my most played modes. I actually really enjoy it. It's something different. Still though, bring back the night vision mode. Alright, I've been nice enough. Let's talk about the negatives. Actually, let's talk about the very first thing you see when you play Modern Warfare 2, and that's the user interface. This is a mess! It looks like it was designed to be a mobile game. Why do I need to scroll horizontally to select my classes? What happened to just a list? Even Modern Warfare 2019 had a clean user interface. Doing basic things like creating a class and selecting perks is tedious and clunky now. Oh, by the way, did you see the message of the day? How can you not? It's the entire screen! How important is the message that it needs to take up like 90% of the screen? Same thing with selecting game modes. Just give me a vertical list! Also, because of this atrocious user interface, leveling up is confusing. It took me a minute to understand how to even unlock some weapons. Now granted, it's slightly better than how it used to be in the beta.
I've highlighted the weapon at the bottom, and I want to go to this gun, so I hit up on the control stick. Instead, it takes me to the weapon above it. So it makes no sense, you just have to fucking smash your joystick around until it goes where you want it to.
The receiver feature just adds to the confusion. Yes, it's nice because it lets you play around with all the weapons, but at least explain to me how it works. You threw in a new progression system, it didn't even teach me anything. You abandoned me and said good luck. Look at Black Ops 2. Everything you need all in one screen. What was wrong with this? The recoil makes some guns downright useless unless you're mounting. Not only that, but the smoke when you're shooting, it also makes it hard to see what you're even shooting at. With the change in the weapon progression, if you want a certain gun, you may be forced to use a gun you don't really like, which will pose a problem. For example, I'm trying to get gold for my assault rifles. I already got gold for the M4 and the top. Now I want to get gold for the Lockman 556. Well, I can't simply just level up my rank and unlock it. I have to use a battle rifle called the Lockman 762, which I'd rather wipe my ass with my hands than use this abomination. It feels like a waste of time, and it's just slowing down what I actually want to do. If you're gonna force me to use a gun, at least make it good, because now I'm just having a miserable time using a gun I don't really care for to unlock a gun I actually do want to use. Oh, and where's the combat record? Trick question. There is no combat record. I can't really see any stats from my time playing Modern Warfare 2. I can't see my wins, losses, most used weapons, most used kill streaks, nothing. I'd like to know how good or bad I'm doing, but I can't. Let's go back to Black Ops 1. Look at the combat record here. You can see everything, and the stats get insanely specific. Just scrolling through everything, you can see how much thought was put into this. It even shows you which part of the body you've hit the most. You can spend a while analyzing your progress and determine which areas need improvement, which doesn't exist in Modern Warfare 2. You can even see other people's combat records to compare them with yours when you select them from the leaderboards, which Modern Warfare 2 doesn't have that either. This was back in 2010. Why aren't these in the newest Call of Duty? Also, where are all the calling cards and emblems? There's no challenges to unlock more. There's no challenges in general. And we're just left with these. And they're not even that cool. If we go back to the original Modern Warfare 2, there's countless pages for calling cards. 22 pages, and you can choose the one that you think fits your personality the most. Even for the emblems, they're all so clean, some of them are even animated. None of that here. Also, it really feels like you're being punished for putting on attachments because it seems like there's a lot of negatives for trying different ones. If you want a balanced gun, don't fill all your slots, or else your stability and recoil will make your weapon downright useless. Because in a game with a fast time to kill, right, you can't afford to take eons to aim down your sight. Not to mention, you can't inspect your weapon in the gunsmith, and it's back to bars for displaying how much a certain attachment affects your gun. Not to mention the perks, they're just... Why? You start with 2. Then, as the game goes on, you unlock 2 more. But, like, again, why? Hardline you unlock later, for example. But I'm not the best at Call of Duty. I'd like to have an easier time getting score streaks from the beginning of the match, not towards the middle. And Ghost is another one. If someone gets a UAV and I want to use Ghost, I'm screwed until I unlock it during the match. Now, footsteps. Your guy might as well just be yelling fee fi fo fum when walking around because they are absurdly loud, even when you're just walking. This just encourages a camper playstyle. Again! Because walking around might as well be a death sentence since you can be heard from like a million miles away. Dead silence would be a nice perk, but it's a field upgrade here. I wouldn't have a problem with this, honestly, if it wasn't for, well, let me show you. Listen to me. When you activate Dead Silence, a field upgrade that eliminates any sound you make and is supposed to make you sneaky, it beeps so everybody can hear it. Did Infinity Ward take a day off and hire a bunch of fucking NPCs to take their place? Remember back in Modern Warfare 2019 where your character would shout and screech like a fucking chimpanzee to announce their location?
Enemies here.
Friendly UAV online. Active. Control it.
Also, the minimap is back to not showing red dots unless there's a UAV, which again encourages camping. Not to mention the time to kill is faster than it takes to blink, so again, it encourages camping. Suppressors are kinda useless. In previous games, it would make you invisible on the minimap when you would shoot, but the consequence would be that the damage you would take with your gun would be reduced. It does the same thing here, but nobody shows up on the minimap anyway, so it's pointless. Also, I could just not see a thing. What happened to having big-ass nameplates over teammates' heads? A small, microscopic blue dot isn't enough. There were a few instances where I would shoot my teammate thinking he was an enemy. Then, there's other times where a teammate would be directly behind an enemy and his blue dot would be on top of the enemy and I'd confuse him for a friend. This was also a problem in Modern Warfare 2019. Does Infinity Ward just have days dedicated to concocting the most idiotic decisions? Now, Infinity Ward acknowledged a lot of the issues I listed and basically said,
I'm very sorry and I apologize for the inconvenience of me not keeping up.
So basically, most main feedback at this point is pretty much just combated by them right off the, start. Before we even get into weekend 2, they told us that virtually everything that we want changed isn't going to happen. They doubled down on it, and it is what it is. I knew that they would do that. I'm happy they at least said fuck you to our faces.
With a lack of a functioning minimap, visibility issues, dead silence being useless, a fast time to kill, mounting, footsteps, you have a game, once again, pandering to a campy playstyle. What a disappointment.
You're a fucking disappointment.
You remember back in Modern Warfare 2019, people would just camp with a 725? Looks like history repeats itself. And skill-based matchmaking, do I even need to drag this out? It's on steroids. There would be games I'd be having a great time. Then the next game, I'm going against people that think we are in the fucking Nationals, making Hurricane Ian look like a joke because these people are causing a flood with the sweat they're producing. Why am I being punished for actually doing good in the game? I'd actually have to take breaks from playing Modern Warfare 2 because of how bad it got. People just bunny hop around corners, jumping everywhere like we're in Super Mario Brothers. I never had these problems in older Call of Duty titles, like the original Modern Warfare 2. Just let me have fun. Put the skill-based matchmaking in ranked. But they won't listen, they never do. Then there's Spec Ops. I'm not gonna spend too much time on this because, well, there's only 3 missions! It's a shame too because I thought they were fun. In low profile, you gotta find devices, so you sneak around with night vision, silently killing enemies and collecting the devices. I'm gonna say right now to play these missions with a friend because I tried playing with a random and he immediately started fucking blasting everyone! It felt like a campaign mission since we would count down before shooting enemies and having to take it slow. The night area was probably my favorite. You gotta stop missiles from launching so you blow up the silos, but you're also driving around, shooting down helicopters, and shooting enemies while your friend is driving. I mean, this was pretty cinematic. Then Mount Zaya, which is defending areas from waves of enemies, and it feels like survival since you're buying kill streaks and equipment. I thought they were all fun, but again, there's only 3 missions! The original Modern Warfare 2 Spec Ops had so many more. There were 5, I guess you can call them sections. There's more missions in just one section than the entirety of Modern Warfare 2, and you can't play them solo. It has to be with somebody else. I mean, there's potential though. I just hope they don't drop it. At least add survival. I didn't really experience too many bugs. Just a lot of flickering would happen, and kill cams most of the time would just abruptly stop, leaving me hanging. Also, I didn't have this problem, but a lot of people were having issues with, I guess, the lighting.
What the monk?
Despite all the problems I had with Modern Warfare 2, I had a good time, believe it or not. Modern Warfare 2 really has the potential to be the best Call of Duty we've ever had, especially since it's going to have a 2-year life cycle, since there won't be a Call of Duty for 2023. This also means that the next Call of Duty by Treyarch might actually be one of the best ones too, if Infinity Ward gets their head out of their ass. This could be an amazing game. I can already say that Modern Warfare 2 is a huge improvement over Vanguard, but...
That was an improvement, but it's not hard to improve on garbage.
Anyways, what do you guys think of Modern Warfare 2? Do you like it? Dislike it? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, give it a like and subscribe, and yeah, thanks for watching.